So we now know how to create n-dimensional arrays. We need to know how to index into them. So let's start. Set up our random array using our np.random.rand int, so an integer array, maximum number of 10, and a size of 3 rows and 2 columns. Print A out just to check it's there, and it's what we think it is. 3 rows and 4 columns. I think I said 2 columns, doesn't matter, however many columns you've got. Let's check its dimension, 2 brackets, a.ndim, second dimension, and we can also find out its shape as well. So we can do a print a.shape, and that will tell us the shape of our array, which is 3 rows and 4 columns. So we index into these the same way that you index into a Python list or a Python list of lists. So A. So the first bracket's going to get us into this first bracket, and let's pick on number 1. Let's pick the first value. So that's in the 0th position because it's on 0th row there, and it's in the 0th position in that row. So we have 2 brackets that let us index into there. And if we're going to pick on this number 4, so it's the 0th, it's the 1st, and then it's the 0th, and it's the 1st. So it's 1 and 1. So exactly the same as you index into your Python list of lists. And you can index from the end as well. So if you want to get the last value, you can say, please can I have the last element of each, and that will give you number 7. So that will give you the last kind of row, 0, 1, 2, and it will give you the last element in there. So you have the negative indexing as well. And if you wanted this number 6, it would be -2 and -2. So you can count backwards as well, which when you've got a small array isn't that much of an issue. But when you've got a massive array, really handy. Other thing you can do, you don't actually have to use both of the brackets. You can pop them together. So if, again, I want to pull out that number 1, I can ask for 0, 0. So you can just put that into one bracket, which is a nice way of doing it, potentially, if you prefer. But again, that choice is up to you. And of course, you can add these things together. So you can add them manually. So if you do a 1, 1 plus, you can add a square bracket for that, plus a 0, 0. It's going to give you 5, which it should do. And you can also do the np.add version of that if you want to stick purely in Numpy. Square bracket that was supposed to be. Oh dear, we've got some, none of these are meant to be curly brackets, by the way. I'm not sure what happened there. I obviously typed something really horrible. So both ways work. That's indexing into a 2-dimensional array. Let's index into a 3-dimensional array. So b equals np.array, round brackets, square brackets, np.random.randint. Let's have the maximum number of 20 and a size of 2 rows and 4 columns, please. Which should be in square brackets. Apologies. There we go. And correct the spelling mistake. There we go. So we can check that that has loaded in. And we can check its number of dimensions, which is 3, as we expect. So we now have 3 positions to specify if we're going to index into something. So let's go for this number 1. So we index into 0 in the first bracket, 0 in the second bracket, and then it's 0, 1 in the third bracket. That was 0, 0, 1. Would have helped if I'd have typed 1, not 0. There we go. And that does give you that number 1. And again, you can use that shortcut if you want without putting all the brackets on. And just put the comma separated variables into the brackets there if you want. So you have to specify as many positions as there are brackets. For example, here, if I just specified 0th and the first, then it would print me out the entirety of that first line, which might be the bit of data that you want to select, and that's absolutely fine. But if you're looking for a specific element, you need to specify its exact location. Right, so the next bit we're going to move on to is how to slice into an array. I'll see you at that video when you're ready.